Alright, what I've got here today is something real special, and I'm just going to try to do an overview of what I do. I've been collecting military surplus rifles for many years, probably going on, I don't know, since like 2006, so close to 20 years now. You know, Mausers are honestly one of my favorite. I think a Mauser 98 is like just the perfect rifle pretty much. And what I've got here, these have been around for a little bit, but it's a Portuguese stamped Mauser made by, you know, the Mauser Oberdorf company there in Germany, 1937. These were a contract, and I think they actually, you know, traded these rifles for like minerals and stuff. I've been reading a little bit of the history on them and different things, but I got this one from the Mauser crate, and this is actually like only the second gun I've been able to get from the Mauser crate. And he wiped these down. These are a little bit rougher condition, you know, some of the bluing's gone down here, and but this one it came with a matching bayonet, you know, and it's got really nice, you know, good clear clean markings and things on it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make a video going over you know, what I do to these guns when I get them in, and just try to clean it up, and then, you know, kind of do a before and after type of thing with it. So, you know, we'll go down again. I mean, it's got quite a bit of rust down here on this, and these have a side sling and also an under sling on the bottom. So, but you know, you can see the bottom, you know, there's quite a bit of finish wear down here. But these are still pretty good. You know, it's in pretty decent shape for a surplus rifle. And these have kind of a different, you know, front sight protectors on them. They go out a little wider, a little bit different than the regular Mauser K98 that the Germans made. But more or less, as far as I can tell, everything else besides the side, you know, and under sling mounts, and this front barrel band here with the under sling mount, and then of course the front sight, that's basically about the only difference I can see. And you know, they have the crest on them. But I'm gonna take this rifle down, and then we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna kind of show you what I do to it. You know, first of all, obviously you want to take the bolt out, which it is unloaded, you know, and you can see the bolt is pretty grungy. There's quite a bit of cosmoline down in the barrel and everything, so I'm going to kind of go through the different steps of what I do. You know, usually the first thing I do is make sure this is in the straight up position before you take this thing off, or you're going to have a bad about an hour trying to get this thing back together. But you can take this apart, and as you can see, there's a lot of cosmoline in there still. So, you know, I can clean this out by hand, but a lot of times what I'll do, I'll go ahead and you know, finish disassembling this, then you know, put it in a sonic cleaner with some degreaser, and then I'll just spray it down with some you know, gun lube. Then it should be good to go. And then I'll go ahead and take the stock off, take all the, you know, everything off of it, clean all the rust off of it, put some nice you know, oil on the stock, clean the stock up the rest of the way. And he wiped these down, just you know, exterior wipe down before he sent them out. But hopefully I'll get this thing cleaned up, and then we'll do a little before and after, and then we'll go shoot it and see what it does. You know, one thing, you want to make sure you've got good tools. I mean, not like, it doesn't have to be super expensive. Like, I've had this screwdriver set, you know, for several years, but you know, you want to make sure you got good, you know, like these wide bits, you know, like this, so that way you don't, you can, you know, get in these screws like this, you don't strip them out, you know. And then also on the underside here, you know, you want to make sure you've got, you know, the right size, you know, good fitting, you know, bits, and a pretty good assortment, you know, here. And this is just one I've had for a while. I've actually got a couple of other sets that I use, you know, from time to time, but this one's been fine. You know, also, you know, you don't really need it probably on this job, but you know, a torque wrench is also you know, a good thing to have. But okay, well, this is the kind of stuff you find when you're doing these things. But look at that proof mark right there underneath that side swivel band, which is pretty cool. But usually what I'll do is I'll lay these out, and I found that, you know, this Croil, it works really good. One, it's a penetrating oil, and also it really does a good job of degreasing the stuff. So I'll usually just soak these and just let them soak for a little bit and go over them with some steel wool. But what you can do when you're laying the parts out, like a lot of times I'll just lay down on a rag like this. If you don't want to get them mixed up, like usually what I'll do, like kind of put them in order so you know what's what. Like, you know, this is the side one here, this is the bottom one, you know, so I can kind of know, you know, in a roundabout way kind of what I'm doing, you know, and don't, which these are more or less interchangeable. And also the side one had a proof mark on it and the bottom one didn't, you know. But anyways, when you lay out the rest of your parts, that way you can just kind of go sequentially and you don't get anything mixed up when you're putting it back together. Alright, so I got the magazine trigger guard out. It's full of cosmoline. Go ahead and lift the action out of here. So there's the stock, and then there's the upper hand guard piece, you know. But what I'll do is I'll go through there and I'll just basically wipe out the cosmoline. You know, I don't think it really hurts it that much, you know, but I'll just wipe off the excess and then just kind of go over the stock with some oil. But this one is kind of interesting. It does have a few little extra things about it, you know. And then here's the receiver. I'll say a lot of times these triggers, sometimes the triggers are marked. Yeah, it's got a mark on the side of it there. And it's got several waffle amps there on the bottom of the barrel. So we're gonna get this thing cleaned up, and now nothing too bad. I don't see any pitting or anything. A little bit of light, maybe very light pitting, and some surface rust right there. We'll take care of that with some steel wool. But yeah, usually I'll take the barrel bands and everything off of these, but I'm not really sure how to get this front sight off of here, so I might have to look at that and see if I can. I don't know if you can take that screw out right there and then take the sight off, but I'll have to look at that and see. That's why you just, on these things, you just kind of go a little bit by little bit, and if you get hung up, hey, there's always YouTube, you know. Alright, I got the bolt out of there and out of the sonic cleaner. Then usually what I'll do is I'll just hit it with some good you know, CLP, gun treatment, lube, whatever. This is good stuff right here. Uncle Jim put me onto that. But then I'll maybe get a Q-tip or something, you know, and just go over and try to get all the rest of the, you know, little crevices and anything that, you know, anything I see real good. Yep, looky there. But anyways, the cosmoline, it's some messy stuff. But there again, you know, I've got these little plastic picks, you know, because there's some places that, you know, you just can't hardly get in there too. And then a lot of times I'll use the you know, the back of the these sticks on these things to get down in the areas that normally you can't hardly get down into, you know. Alright, well, you should have a pretty good little cosmoline pile and patch pile going by this point. But anyways, here's a little cool thing. Look on the back of this bolt. Look at that mark. Huh. You know, that's the weird thing about these things. I mean, they've got marks in places, you know, you would never think. You know, usually a lot of times I'll look underneath the, you know, bolt handle, but that one there's got one on the back of the bolt handle. And like I said, when they marked everything, they marked everything. The serial numbers even on this firing pin here, so that matches the receiver. Alright, and then the stock, you know, any metal pieces I'll hit with Croil real good. And don't be afraid to go shy on the steel wool, you know. Steel wool is going to be your best friend on this stuff. Especially any metal, you know. Whoops. Alright, after I get the stock, you know, just kind of wipe down this tung oil. I mean, I've had this canned thing of tung oil for 20 years. You know, I use it on everything I got. It don't take much, you know. And you just you know, rub it in, and you can already tell, you know. And what I'll do is I'll put a couple coats there where that scratch is, you know. But you can already tell it's lightening it up a little bit, and it also gets a lot of the, I think, a crap and stuff off of it. But you know, I'll rub this on, you know, a couple coats, you know, let it dry, and then usually do a couple more, you know, coats, usually, you know, 3 or 4 coats of this, you know, because I don't like sanding these stocks too much, or really even cleaning them too much, because, you know, they have marks on them, and a lot of times if you do too much to them, you'll erase the marks. Like you see those marks right there, like they're coming out now. You couldn't even hardly see them before, but now they're coming out. You know, if I would have sanded that or something before, you know, putting this on, you probably would have never seen them. So that's why I like to do it, you know, this way. I don't like to do a whole lot to the stocks. I mean, I don't really try to get them even clean or anything. I just try to put this tung oil on them first, rub them down, and then, you know, it just kind of preserves the markings and stuff on them. Alright, well, I'm getting down to nitty gritty time. You know, a lot of times the butt plate on these things, they're in pretty rough shape. You know, this one I've had to go over quite a bit. I still got to do a little bit of work on it, you know. One thing I didn't mention, you know, a brass brush is good to get down into the pitting on some of these areas, you know. One other thing I'll do, you know, on areas that are below the wood line, you know, sometimes you'll see a little bit of pitting and stuff, you know. I like to put a little bit of oil on stuff before I put it back together, but especially on areas like that maybe just have a little bit of pitting, or that are, you know, in the wood line or in the stock, I like to use a little bit of grease. You know, it doesn't really matter, just a little bit of gun grease. I'll put it on there, move it around. Also, you know, this Renaissance wax, I've used this on my revolvers, and then I've also used it, you know, on guns like this as well. And it just kind of helps. It's like a protectant. It just kind of helps if there is anything left in the pits, you know. I think it just kind of helps prevent that from getting worse, and also just kind of protects it as well. And then the last thing I'll do before I put it in the stock, like I said, I'll usually rub it down with something, you know, and just double check, look at everything real good. I've used this a lot over the years. I think it stays really good, you know, on the guns. Or like I said, also the Renaissance wax is good. Alright, well, I don't know if you can see it very good. We're going to get it out in the sun. Maybe you can see it better, you know, but it did come with a matching bayonet, which is cool. So matching numbers, rifle and bayonet, you know. And this one, it did have a little bit of, you know, wear on it, particularly down here, you know, where the bluing is kind of wore off. But overall, I mean, I think it's still a really pretty rifle. I mean, I like them like this. They have a little bit of character. You know, I've got some that, you know, do have perfect, you know, bluing still, but there's just something about one that's got a little bit of honest use to it. It's just nice, you know. So I got this one cleaned up the best I could. I think it's pretty nice. I think I did a pretty good job getting it clean or storing it. You know, I'm not, you know, removing any history from it or anything like that. Basically just a real light, what I consider, you know, I guess you could say deep cleaning, but light, you know, as far as the stock cleaning on it. No real re-bluing or anything, just like totally just trying to restore it, and you know, keep it around for many years to come. you know, and maybe it'll be here even long after I'm gone, you know, who knows. But anyways, I'm gonna get this thing out in the sun. We can look at it a little bit better. All right, here she is. Portuguese Mauser, made by Mauser, 1937. Got her cleaned up. She's got some honest wear on her, but that's okay. Wood looks good. There's a bayonet. Came with it, matching bayonet. Got all the Waffen amps and everything on it too. Just kind of go over this gun. Give you some nice close-ups of it here. There's the side sling, of course, there. A little cutout, and then the under sling. It's different than you know, the sling attachments, or the sling attachments in the front ears, sight ears, are the main differences between this one and a German, you know, military Mauser.